Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Shekhar Iyer. Joining me today again, as always, on Saturdays at 9:30 p.m. is Shekhar Iyer, and we are going to have a wonderful session today. A lot of things to talk about, and let's first welcome our guest of the evening, Shekhar Iyer. Shekhar ji, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaskar, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Greetings to all your viewers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And Shekhar ji, let us start with the opposition raids. What kind of a fallout is going to be there? I'm going to show you a slide deck, couple of slides, so that you can get an idea of how the opposition is trying to hit back. Let's take a look at the slide, please. So this is, for those who don't know, this is the daughter of K. Chandrasekhar Rao of BRS. I think her name is Kavitha Rao. And she's taking pot shots at Himanta Biswa as well as Jyotiraditya Scindia as to how on Assam and Madhya Pradesh they have changed colors, but true colors never fade. Next one, sir. Okay, I don't know the names of these three: Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, and West Bengal. Maybe you know, Shekharji. Take it away, sir.
Yeah, I think there's one is showing that BJP MLA, from whose son was caught accepting money,
Right.
Virupaksh. That's the picture in the middle, and on the extreme right is your Subhendu Adhikari, who is
Hmm.
the BJP's leader, who is the leader of the
TMC now.
opposition.
Yeah. Now
Yeah, in
BJP.
TMC.
Yeah.
Yes, and of course there is a picture of Narayan Rane also, that these are the people who faced cases during when they were in the Congress. And the question that is being asked is what has happened to those cases after they switched over sides. In fact, the opposition has been saying, whether it is in Bengal or, the other places, wherever they are facing heat over action by the enforcement directorate or the CBI, is that BJP is a kind of a washing machine where, if they are in the opposition and they pass through that machine, they come out clean. And I mean, they have been saying this. They have been saying this. Now, Aam Aadmi Party has also joined in that group, saying there are two things they keep on saying. One, why are you acting against us? Why are you acting on our leaders? But you don't do anything to your leaders. And the second thing they keep harping is, instead of talking about the cases actually against them, they say, whatever happened to those people who were with us and who have since gone that side, what has happened to those cases? Uh, and we saw last week only, 8 opposition leaders writing a letter to the Prime Minister, saying that vindictive action is happening, and particularly citing the case of the Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. Now, Congress refused to sign that letter because there was no mention of the letter, no mention in the letter about the National Herald case. So the question that the Congress leaders were asking, how can we sign a letter where you have not mentioned National Herald, you have not mentioned questioning of Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi by the Enforcement Directorate, and that was also for 9 hours and 10 hours. So that means the rest of the opposition is not willing to accept that the action
We
on
appear to
ED.
have a loss of connection here. He will join back. Just stay with us. Please like this video because we're going to have a rocking session as we look at each and every case. And the opposition has a point. Sir, please go ahead, sir. Back.
Yeah. So what they are saying is, look, no, sir, the point we have to see here is Congress welcomed the action on Manish Sisodia, and the opposition was silent when action was taking place on National Herald case. So
So
how
Hisab
can
Barabar, sir. So Hisab Barabar, they should have done it then.
and Congress this time is not saying that action on Manish Sisodia is a case of vendetta, because they have said this is the biggest Delhi excise scam, is the biggest scam. So right action has been taken. So, but I think the bigger point is the BJP working on a strategy? Because the whole idea is, from a political side, let us not getting into the merits of the each of the case that the ED is investigating. One is it BJP scared there would be sympathy for the opposition leaders because ED is gunning for them? Take, for instance, the action on Lalu Prasad. Lalu Prasad Yadav is just recovering from a kidney transplant. But at the particular case, it pertains to the time when he was the railway minister under the Congress United Progressive Alliance rule, and this was land for job. People were asked to give, hand over their land in return for a job in the railways, and those the plots of land were collected, made into pool, and they were sold for a big killing, huge killing. So these cases are coming now. Sir, the only accusation, which I would say is very valid, could be considered valid, is that the BJP government or the center could have waited for these cases to reach this stage just in the year preceding the Lok Sabha election, so that the people are reminded as to what is the choice before them. Because that's the only timing, because the cases themselves, are quite serious, and the central agencies are aware that they took a long time in most of the cases, and they cannot be just arresting people because probably somebody in the central government wanted it. So therefore, I think the case per se is a reminder to the voters. Look, these are the kind of people whom you had to send them out before you chose Narendra Modi as prime minister. Now these people are coming together again, because this is a very, I would say, a very jerky reminder to the voters. That is the significance of these cases now suddenly gaining speed. Sir, in West Bengal, sir, I have to remind the viewers, we have been seeing that scam about recruitment of teachers, which saw more than 50 crores, 55 crores in cash being unearthed by close aides to Mamata Banerjee. And those cases are continuing, monitored by Kolkata High Court. Sir, in that particular case, a close kin of Mamata Banerjee has been appointed a teacher. Her name, I think it's her niece who was appointed a teacher, though she was not qualified, or she did not pass any recruitment exam. Now, these are the cases that is coming, and I can sense the kind of panic among the TMC leaders as to where this case is headed. Mamata remains unchallenged in Bengal, and BJP, since the last Lokpak elections have been quite on the downhill, because a lot of their leaders, defected back to Trinamool. Some of them who had come had gone back because of pressure from Mamata. But this is raising question as to what is the kind of leaders that Mamata has gathered under her party. So therefore,
Yes, in
we in fact, similarly in Telangana, for instance, everybody knew that KCR is rich when it comes to resources for his politics. And where did he get those resources? And the fact that other smaller parties are going to him, trying to even encourage his attempts to form this BRS, this also shows that he has resources to attract them. Now, from where all those resources came, and this Delhi excise scam, because in Delhi previously you had only the Delhi government outlets selling liquor. That policy was sought to be reversed, saying that the liquor should be available at outlets where even women do not feel difficulty in buying a bottle. And a lot of licenses were given, and sir, wherever this theka or the contract is given for liquor, whether it is Punjab or any other state where you have both the private and a state-run corporation selling, or only the state run or the state run has handed over contracts to, let us say, to private people, there has been a lot of talk of money exchanging hands because of the huge profits involved in liquor trade. That's a fact. So this Delhi case is interesting because Kejriwal was getting ambitious, and his political ambitions needed that kind of financial resources. You know, fighting Punjab elections, fighting elections in Goa, fighting elections in Uttarakhand, and or even Gujarat. All that required resources. I mean, Aam Aadmi Party was not. Their budget was quite impressive. Even in Goa, I'm told they spent a lot. For Trinamool spent a lot. Obviously, this kind of funds are only generated, you know, by handing out favors in your respective states where government is there. So The question that is being asked, I think, Kavitha made a big deal. She came to Delhi before she went through ED today. She's supposed to have been grilled for almost 9 hours today. And she has been again called on March the 16th or 17th, she has been called again. So one can understand that obviously the agencies are working on the basis of some evidence they have gathered. Sir, my question is, these political parties, these opposition parties are, rather want to go before the people on the plank that they have been victimized by the central agencies because they are opposed to Modi. Now, are people at large, are they going to get attracted to the opposition just because they are being pulled up? I mean, pulled up for the acts of corruption or acts which are seen as, bordering on sleaze and corruption? So that's a question. Now, as to the reason why if at all the center is fully, has triggered this kind of action at this stage, is it because the BJP wants to remind the voters this is the choice before you, or is it because uh, the BJP feels that the opposition is getting strong, therefore they can pose a challenge to the Prime Minister? I think it's more likely they want to remind again and again, look, this is the lot you rejected in 2014 and you voted for Prime Minister Modi. 5 years, first 5 years you saw, the second 5 years saw, there are several unfinished tasks, and that would require a third mandate to the Prime Minister Modi. So I can see how it is playing out, in the sense how the BJP is working towards the strategy for the Lok Sabha elections of 2024. But when it comes to the opposition, I mean, suddenly, they have given up other issues, other public concerned issues that concern public, and taken up their own victimhood as an issue. Even on that issue, they are not able to unite because there are some corruption, my corruption versus your corruption. Like Aam Aadmi Party cannot accept National Herald corruption, and Congress cannot accept the Delhi excise scam corruption.
So everything is a convenience. It's a matter of how to draw political capital out of it. Whether you take BJP or Congress or the opposition parties, everybody is trying to see how I can exploit it to my own benefit rather than the basics, which is the dharmic slash corruption that they have done. Shekharji, I'm hearing a lot of complaints from Telangana how KCR has gone about amassing wealth, and this is not going to end well for him or for his family. Now, the key question that people have been asking is, what is Kavitha Rao's involvement in the liquor excise scam? So one thing that people told me was that she was a Benami owner of some liquor manufacturing companies, and they essentially helped doctor the invoices. I don't know how that was done. Maybe you can throw a little bit of light on that, sir.
Yes, sir, because when the tenders were floated to for privatizing distribution of liquor in the state of Delhi, obviously the southern lobby, or so-called the southern group, got a big deal, and some of these fictitious firms or ghost firms or whatever, with connections to this TRS or BRS leadership, they got a lot of contract, and it seems they in turn paid Aam Aadmi Party something like 100 crores or more, one doesn't know. And so the surprising, I mean, the turn in that whole event was when the scam was unearthed after BJP leaders, local Delhi leaders wrote to the Lieutenant Governor. Aam Aadmi Party government immediately dropped that policy. That is what the most intriguing. If the policy was something above board and things had been done, why did the Arvind Kejriwal government drop this policy, thinking that once you drop the policy, that means you are out of it? I mean, there can be no more further scrutiny of the policy, but that has not happened because CBI has spoken to several people. They have spoken to the aides of the AAP leaders. They have spoken to, because before they came to Kavitha, they went to the some of the TRS leaders, as well as one YSR Congress leader also, Magunta Srinivas Reddy and his son, because they are also into huge liquor trade. So the politicians of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, it's well known that they run huge these liquor contract businesses not only in their states, in other states, and that's a huge earner for them in terms of generates a lot of money for fighting elections and for other things. So one is not surprised that the southern lobby was involved. And Kavitha has been trying to browbeat this investigation. Yesterday, they raked up the issue of women's reservation bill. Sir, women reservation bill was brought in Rajya Sabha by the United Progressive Alliance government. When Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister in 2010, it was passed in Rajya Sabha. After that, and it was passed with lot of opposition. And supporting parties like Lalu's RJD, Rashtriya Janata Dal, which were then in the government, as well as parties like Samajwadi Party, the Hindi belt parties, who are totally opposed to reservation for women. And they did not allow that bill, the bill to be introduced in the Lok Sabha. And the Congress decided not to do it. Suddenly, they are now raising the issue of women's reservation bill. Now, women's reservation bill, I feel if at all you bring in quota, BJP may be more prepared to put up women candidates than these male-dominated parties, these caste-based parties, and party which are dynastic parties like Samajwadi Party or Rashtriya Janata Dal. But because I believe issues like women reservation bill, they may not come up before this in 2024 Lok Sabha election, but definitely they are on the cards of the Prime Minister. Probably these are part of his agenda once he gets a renewed mandate in 2024. But Kavitha, for her to sit before facing the enforcement directorate to talk about women's quota when TRS itself has done nothing for women. There are hardly, I believe hardly there are one or two ministers, even they are there. I mean, hardly very the poor representation for women in the KCR's government. Sir, the other side is in the KCR family politics also, Kavitha doesn't have a very best of relationship with her brother, KT Ramarao, who is the son of KCR and who is a minister in the government. And this lady was given the charge of the national ambition to further the national ambitions of KCR. And everybody in Delhi knows that Kavitha is a very, very, very influential BRS leader. Because when I say in Delhi to be known as an influential leader, it means it's the kind of financial clout you command or the kind of financial resources that you are able to attract.
So, to paraphrase Diwar's famous line, "Mere paas maa hai." Now people are saying, "Mere paas paisa hai." So that's what seems to be the magic phrase, at least in Delhi. Shekharji, let's take a quick look at the other states. For example, you talked about West Bengal. Sir, how did Mamata Banerjee manage to get so many people back into her camp? I mean, if she was that powerful, then she could have done it even before they left, right? I mean, within a day of leaving, if they come back, they can say, oh, there was a remorse or so. Why did she wait until she proved that she was the winner and then come back? I'm unable to understand that logic there.
Sir, what happened, sir? The BJP made a huge mistake in the run-up to the 2021 West Bengal Assembly elections. Because of a very impressive performance by BJP in 2019,
yes,
the central leaders of BJP, particularly leaders like Amit Shah, had set a high bar for the party to perform. They thought that it's quite even possible that Mamata can be knocked down in one blow. So they wanted to somehow cause an erosion in the ranks of the TMC. So they started attracting leaders, who had problems with Mamata or with Abhishek Banerjee, they were taken in. And in that process, a number of MLAs, Trinamool MLAs who were once close to Mamata, who had turned against her, or Mamata had turned against them, or they could not do business with Abhishek Banerjee, her nephew. They are the people who came in, and there was no quality control. So in the process, they all came in. But after her victory, these leaders who are not originally the BJP stock or who are not the original, people who have, risen up the ranks, they felt with the return of Mamata, they felt that they could be victimized because many of them have their own businesses. They run businesses and trade, that's a sideshow which requires the local government's clout. It requires local government's power. So obviously they could not continue their business without the support of the state government, and they feared Mamata and her henchmen would go after them. In fact, that's what happened in cases of some of the leaders. I know for a fact, like for instance, Asad leader, because you saw that after the Lok Sabha elections, there were several attacks on people of Trinamool leaders who had left Trinamool and joined BJP, and they were unable to, carry forward, bearing a strong leader like Subhendu Adhikari. It must be said to the credit of Subhendu Adhikari, he's a mass leader. He was her right-hand man once. He fell out because Mamata was giving importance to her nephew, Abhishek Banerjee. But then he withstood his ground and got it defeated in Nandigram. That is something that was a phenomenal thing to happen in Bengal. That as chief minister, a sitting chief minister, is defeated in her constituency, and Subhendu Adhikari did it. But that episode did not ensure that BJP could, get enough to create a huge dent. So therefore, I think these leaders who left went back, A, out of fear, B, their commercial interests would be affected if they remained with the BJP. That was one of the pure reasons. And today, with continuing actions by central agency, sir, some of the very interesting things that have happened in Bengal is the way the cattle smuggling has been now taken up by the central agencies. The Anubrudh Mondal, who has been arrested because among the major money spinners for Trinamool leaders in Bengal is one was cattle smuggling. Cattle being smuggled to Bangladesh had a huge payoff for these local Trinamool leaders. That is one now. That case has, because Anubrudh Mondal has been connected with several cases, and this is one of the important cases. The second is the money that used to be collected from the mining sector. People were forced to pay money to this for everything, for transporting anything that is mined or anything that is taken to the industrial units or taken from the industrial units to the market. See, that is second thing, the transport sector, the hafta collections. And the third, I am told, a lot of it is also real estate involvement, where a lot of money changes hands. So these are the 2-3 areas where the Trinamool leaders have been making money. Now, central agencies, and of course, now you have the teacher recruitment scam. So the question is, the people of Bengal, when are they going to wake up? Now, BJP is not in a great shape because one, it paid for the price. I mean, for its, I would say, not a very right strategy of taking everybody in without realizing, because those people came in thinking that BJP may perhaps come to power, displacing Mamata. When that did not happen, they had immediately revert to go back to their own party. Otherwise, their whatever commercial things which require the official support would suffer. So this is the case of Bengal. Now come to Bihar, sir. Bihar, of course, Lalu and his family, they are trying to generate a sympathy that when he is recovering from a kidney transplant which was done in Singapore and is staying with his daughter in Delhi. Uh, ED has come now again after that. Sir, this railway recruitment scam is a very serious scam. And if the case of the CBI, if you look at what the CBI is making out, that people were recruited in railways when he was railway minister, and in turn they had to sell their land to these henchmen of Lalu and his family, and these land pools were collected, and then they were given to companies which were close links to Rabdi Devi or to Tejasvi Yadav. I mean, this is very serious. And sir, a very interesting reaction of this is a blessing in disguise for Nitish Kumar, sir. This action on what is taking place, because he is feeling the heat of RJD leaders, who were wanting him to hand over the baton to Tejasvi Yadav, the deputy CM, because that was the deal between JDU and RJD. I mean, between Nitish Kumar and Lalu, that he would focus on the central politics, national politics, and he would leave the Bihar field open to the RJD, his partner. But he probably, the whole talk was, they said he would do it closely around Lok Sabha elections. But the pressure was building up on Nitish that he should do it immediately, hand it over to Tejasvi Yadav. Now, this action on Tejasvi Yadav or Lalu family in particular, this is likely to further, I can see give some relief to Nitish, because some of his own party leaders have been upset with this understanding with RJD. But and today's Nitish reaction is also very interesting. He says, What can I say for these raids that are taking place? These raids are happening after RJD and JDU came together. Beyond that, he is not saying much or condemning it or anything, because his case is itself quite pathetic, because he was with Lalu, he left Lalu, then joined BJP, then left BJP, went back to Lalu now. So we are seeing a lot of bizarre things happening in this run up to 2024 elections.
Well, many are not decided. They don't have a strategy. They know that they are limited in their reach, their capacity to attract people. So this is we have essentially satraps, regional satraps, and they use that card to become what they became. But then they also painted themselves into a corner. That's how I see it, sir. Let's take a look at Karnataka, viewers. Shri Shekhar Iyer is working in a new environment. He will not be able to take questions today, so we please apologize us for that. It's really difficult. In fact, I think he's even holding the camera in his hand because it's moving a little bit. Shekharji, thank you once again for sparing the time to talk to us. I mean, I can't say enough about his commitments, viewers. That's all. Just take my word for it. And Shekharji, let's talk about Karnataka.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Karnataka, I think what is happening is this particular incident, where the Lokayukta, caught the son of a BJP MLA, demanding and accepting money for a contract involving the state-run firm which manufactures the famous Mysore sandal soap, and of which the father is the chairman of the Karnataka soap company, with Soap Limited, Public Limited. Now, I mean the state enterprise. Now, in this particular case, it is a Lok Ayukta which acted on the complaint. So, question, and this particular leader, Virupaksha, is a Lingayat leader who is close to Yedurappa, and then when they started looking for the father also, and they raided his home, they got 8 crores cash. Then Virupaksha was, went underground till he got an anticipatory bail, and then has come out and said this 8 crore money is a normal thing, because we are all Arkanut, growers, so we have that kind of amount and all that. But this episode came as a, I would say, a setback for the BJP, for the simple reason, what had happened was, Bommai has been trying to somehow salvage the situation. And of course, BJP also, central leadership realized that they could not antagonize Yedurappa any further. They also roped him in. There was a lot of discussion. And then repeated forays by Home Minister Amit Shah to Karnataka. The whole idea is to send a message, look, this is a battle we will have to, definitely, we have to win, because it's very important that BJP does not suffer a setback in the south. The only state where it has ruled, for almost since the 2002, 2003 and onwards, and repeatedly off and on. Now, the strategy they have realized is, look, Prime Minister has a great, attraction in Karnataka. So they decided to have more of his meetings, so that the 10%, I mean, the BJP's calculations that Prime Minister Modi's can give them 8 to 9% more votes, apart from whatever the BJP has. So they decided, but this thing came as a setback, this Virupaksha episode. Obviously, Prime Minister and they would all be very upset. Now, and interestingly, Virupaksha MLA, before this incident happened, before this the Lokagita acted against his son and later against him, he had declared that he would not be contesting these elections. Probably he thought he may not get his renewed nomination to fight the elections. And they say that the son, I mean, the buzz in Karnataka is that probably the son thought, my father will not come back as MLA, let me, make the hay while my father is still in office. So, I mean, this is the talk. So, but there is also speculation as to, are supporters of Yedurappa being targeted by the Lokayukta? Is it something, a cleanup being done by within the BJP itself? These questions are being asked. But one thing is very clear: the fight is a very close, stiff fight, and BJP knows that. And whatever push the Prime Minister can give with his campaign, he is going to give. But at the same time, everyone is watching how the Congress is going to fight this battle, because JDS is also hoping, that at the moment the JDS wants to win as many seats it can, given it did very badly in the Lok Sabha elections in 2019, and it is hoping, it can have some seats, and BJP is short of crossing the halfway mark, and then probably the JDS can do business with the BJP. On the Congress side, sir, we are again hearing a lot of unity moves between Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar. There is a suggestion from central leaders, why not they address meetings together? But the chemistry is remain what it is. Shiv Kumar cannot give up this chance. If the Congress is going to well, he would like to, stake his claim, because having spent a lot of resources for that Bharat Jodo Yatra, whose impact in Karnataka seems to have, vanished in thin air, or even in other places. And also Siddaramaiah feels that, he has the right political, he represents the right political electoral mathematics, in the sense, backward class, Adivasis, minorities. So Siddaramaiah says this is my last election. That means what? He is not going to let things easily for the Congress. I mean, for DK Shivkumar. Now you have the third player, who is Karge himself, Mallikarjun Karge. He may be 80 plus, but why not? If the Congress were to come to power, why not as a compromise candidate as the first Dalit chief minister? Now, these ambitions, how are they going to be, managed or kept aside for the Congress to first win the elections? This is something we are all going to watch and see how the tickets are distributed. Sir, the elections may be announced anytime next week. I mean, in the coming week, they could be announced, and the elections will be somewhere, starting from, say, from 10th of April onwards, and be completed by April first week. I mean, May first week.
Well, Karnataka Congress will have to figure out its own Shaiva Siddhanta, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Sir, let's take a look at what is happening in Tamil Nadu. I thought that just because a few IT staffs have switched sides, that that's not going to make a big deal. But the DMK has the media in its hand. They're making a big deal out of it. Shekharji, how important is it? I mean, I wouldn't say the TN BJP IT unit was like doing great, and by going to other side, ADMK, I don't think that's going to make much of a difference to the BJP. In my opinion, how do you see it, sir?
Yes, sir. Sir, some of these leaders who are going from the BJP, I mean, you are hearing their name for the first time, and probably you will hear
Right,
their
right,
name for the last
right,
time.
right.
I mean, these are no big deal, of course. Sir, fact remains, after Annamalai took over BJP, there has been a lot of traction towards the BJP. The way he has been taking up issues, way he has been connecting with the people, traveling to the districts, and he was doing, and rather he is doing at a time when the opposition, the so-called AIADMK, was, has been in the limbo for a long time now, almost one can say 2 years, till till the last High Court order came, which favored Edappadi continuation in that interim arrangement, and two leaf symbol being, settled, and OPS suffering a setback. Now, there is a section within ADMK, sir. Even after this, people leaving and joining, again the Edappadi, some of the, the spokespersons for the Edappadi led ADMK have said, no, our alliance stands. BJP is part of it. This is a very small thing. Of course, Tamil Nadu BJP have said this is not coalition dharma. I mean, I do not know why even they are reacting to these people. So, there is a problem. The problem is that some people in Tamil Nadu BJP are upset since Annamalai came, and they have problems with his leadership and all that. But these are small matters when you say that when BJP is trying to gather speed, and whether it's trying to fill up that space as an opposition party. So Sir, ADMK is also has to decide, because there is a section in ADMK, as I said earlier, which feels association of the BJP, can cost them minority votes in the future also. They feel they did not do well in the 2021 assembly elections because of this alliance with BJP, and the minority votes, particularly southern districts, were affected, and they went, even in traditional areas, they went to the DMK, I mean, which previously used to go to ADMK too. So an alliance with BJP means it costs them in terms of minority votes in the southern district. So there is a section that feels, but at the same time, I think, sir, next 1 year, I mean, even in the run up to parliamentary elections, you are going to see the scenario where there will be an uneasy relationship between ADMK and BJP. Because once the 2024 Lok Sabha elections are over, I think a lot of things will change, because the ADMK as well as DMK both will realize that if the BJP were to come back to power, if Prime Minister Modi is back, for a third term, then they will have to examine their own future, because it's not going to be easy for them. Either it is DMK or for ADMK if the BJP comes back, because that is going to see more renewed push by BJP in Tamil Nadu. So one is seeing a state of flux, but as I gather, this whole thing, BJP leaders joining ADMK, is actually a much ado about nothing. That's what I am told.
Well, I would like to talk to him more, but let's quickly wrap up with the impact of Rahul Gandhi's rather intemperate speeches in the United Kingdom. 2 minutes for you, sir, and then afterwards we'll call it a wrap. I'm sorry I'm holding you up so long.
Not at all, sir. Well, sir, the latest thing is even more. I mean, he has made several statements. I mean, he spoke at 3, 4 places, and of the latest one, which is where, in Indian Parliament you are not allowed to speak, the mics are switched off, and of all people, the Vice President, the Rajya Sabha Chairman Jagdeep Dhankar has reacted, saying, "Look, if I don't counter this, I would be failing in my constitutional duty." Now, so here again, I think people are asking. In fact, a leading columnist has said, why is BJP obsessed with Rahul Gandhi? Rather, BJ to saying that, let Rahul Gandhi say whatever he wants. Sir, my gut feeling is BJP wants to keep the focus on Rahul Gandhi because it suits them. If Because they know that it's not going to make a big impact. But so long as Congress is obsessed with Rahul Gandhi, so long as Rahul Gandhi remains, in some form or that, he has that prime importance in the party, whatever his utterances, whoever is advising him in whatever course, that suits BJP. So I'm not surprised that BJP is sharply focusing on Rahul Gandhi, because Rahul Gandhi remains in the picture. And if any statement of Rahul Gandhi is controversial, BJP is going to use every bit of it. And they are doing it with very intent and purpose. It's very clear. So that the people are reminded again and again, this is your choice before you. Either you vote for BJP led by Prime Minister Modi, or you have a motley of opposition which is corrupt, and also which is sometimes has leaders who can make very dangerous statements and could even pursue dangerous policies if you give them an opportunity.
And we still wait to see what that 182 line items that were signed by the Congress party with the CCP in 2008. That is something for a later date. Shekharji, you don't know how many people wait to hear from you on weekends to understand what happened in the last week in politics. Many feel like this one episode of Shekhar Iyer kind of gives them, like, what they would probably get by scouring hours of, newspaper articles, of the websites, and so on. So you're doing a great human service, sir. Thank you so much. And viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. I hope I have convinced you to subscribe to our channel. And if you are on a smartphone, sometimes you may have to click on the bell button for notifications also. Thank you once again, Shekharji. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.